Hey there, everybody. Welcome to your Vorpal board stream on Thursday night. I hope everybody's doing well. Today, I have a special guest with me. I have Jason Washburn from Talon Studios, and we are going to be playing his game, Camp Pinetop, which is currently on Kickstarter. It has 12 hours left in the campaign. We're on the absolute final stretch, and congratulations are in order because you guys have hit closing in on $18,000 of your $15,000 goal. So congratulations, Jason.
Thank you very much. We are super excited. We are moving towards another stretch goal.
Yeah, and
So,
I was looking at stretch goals before we started, and it looks like I think you've done 6 already, right?
well, we have some social goals.
Okay, cool.
So I always do social goals. I think they're really cool to do. They're not dependent upon money. They're just dependent upon participation and stuff. And that helps you get backers. And in the Kickstarter world, backers equal dollars or however you want to look at it. So the solo story mode was a loyalty. Linen finish was loyalty. 2 millimeter box was loyalty, and then the first player token was based on 500 backers, and then the fifth player that got added in was our first stretch goal, the custom camper. That's another stretch goal, and then beyond that, we have three map cards, three mastery cards that come out of 17,550. And should we make it to 18,350, the regular cubes would get changed into discs that look like the Camp Pine Top patch.
Cool. Yeah, and I like that. I think it's neat that campaigns now are doing a little bit more than just dollar value targets.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also probably good for you guys as well because it's just building your audience for the next go round, right? The more people you have favoriting you on Facebook and on Twitter and on Board Game Geek, the better.
Yeah, I like to be engaged with our backers and with the people that support Town Strike Studios and listen to what they have to say, and it matters to me what they think, and that's a great way for us to interact with them is through loyalty rewards. So we've done backer suggested rewards as well, like that's for some of the other stuff in our other games. For instance, like in Vinyl, we did the Disco Meeple, like the
Okay.
John
Yep.
Travolta Meeple. That was a loyalty reward through that game. So things like that, that a backer is like, hey, you should do this, and we like to, if possible,
Yeah, I mean, it makes a
try to
little bit of
follow
a
that.
little bit of advantage for people to be involved in the campaign instead
Mm-hmm.
of kind of staying on the sidelines, which is cool. I like that. Things that don't really change the game, but change kind of the finish of the materials. I think are especially good.
Oh, very much so. And I don't know what the consensus is out there, but things like Linen Finish and 300 or 310 or GSM, which tells you the grade of the paper, ivory core, black core, that they matter. That's all cost. So it's not that big of a deal. No, but when you gotta make 5,000 of them or 2,000 of them, then that becomes a cost. So I like the things that we do at Talent Strikes that other people don't do, such as a 2 millimeter box. So the box has a better substantial, last longer, is a better box for, some people stack games, some people load them on the side. So, I mean, everybody stores their games differently. So, giving you a better box means that box is going to last longer. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's
stuff
cool.
like that matters.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I think so much of the hobby is like the tactile nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
So making it so when it comes out of that box and it just feels really nice, it matters to me at least. I think it matters to most people who are in the hobby, so it's worth it.
Oh, I'm a gamer and a publisher, so I have a nice giant bookshelf of games, and just like everybody else out there that plays a lot of games and collects games, and you take care of your what you they cost, so you take care of them. It's important, and then I can play them, multiple times, which is
Right.
what makes board games awesome. I can crack that sucker and play it, 2 or 3 times a year, and for the next 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing, and you know you're going to get that experience, and it matters because that's how you're moving stuff and touching stuff, and you want that feel, you want that finish.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of funny since I'm trying to build a software system for playing board games. So maybe not the best example, but for me, being the local player, it certainly matters.
Well, I think that's important. I mean, there's lots of different things out there for remote play, right?
Yep.
Lots of people for their living, they travel, so they're at a different place week to week sometimes. This kind of product gives them the opportunity to play with their friends and family, even when they're not home. That's important. I think in there's board game arena, there's tabletopia, there's things like that. The one through Steam as well.
Yeah,
So
tabletop simulator. Yep.
So I mean that they're out there. It makes sense to have something like that. I think this is super cool. The interesting thing with this one is none of the other ones do this. This plays with the live copy,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you need the copy to play under this version. But it's super neat. So I think that it definitely has a place out there.
Yeah.
I could tell you what, if I didn't have remote board gating, it would be very hard for me to develop games because my partner lives in New York and then designers live all over the place. But that's how we develop our games. Like this game was developed over Tabletopia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you
Because,
that because you guys are across the country, and the designer is Stephen Davies. Where is he located? Because he's not local to either of you, is he?
I want to say New England states.
Okay.
Virginia, maybe.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
So not in either of your of the Talon Strikes guys' locations. So
No.
Okay, cool.
Eric's in New York and I'm in Arizona, and so I have a designer in Canada. I have a designer that we've signed. He lives in the Philippines. I have a designer that's signed that where I got they live up in the Pacific Northwest for public market. They live upstate or up in the Pacific Northwest. So it just kind of depends, but it helps. I mean, we play all of our games. We get them loaded onto the Tabletopia and we play them all there. And that's how we develop.
yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Now, with this particular design, I'm curious because I think that a lot of people responded very positively to the art in Camp Pinetop, just because it has, for me personally, it kind of had like a Ranger Rick Boys Life kind of magazine type feel. And I responded to that a lot. I like the drawings. The people who are watching can see the box actually in the stream. And I'm going to zoom in on some of the cards here, but how was the art direction on this decided between the team?
So when Eric saw the game, he saw it before I did, but it had been through its paces. The designer, Steven, actually did the art for the game.
Cool. So
we had a discussion about, we kind of wanted to have that nice whimsy kind of feel to it. A backer described it as like Richard Scarry, which is really a great depiction. I mean, if you go and look at his illustrations in his books, but and it's always a conglomeration, right? So I do the graphic design for Talon Strike. So, and then I take elements. So for instance, the map cards, that's his illustrations and stuff. And then we, design it out and put it together. Like in the final version, the patches there on the map cards will be bigger in scale, so you can see them a little better. I mean, stuff like that, because this is a prototype. But if you look at the player board, that has the patches and the badges on the side, but everything else is, I created. So you kind of got to find what that look is and put it together. And do that. So for the direction, we just wanted it to have that feel. Yes, the cards are very monochromatic. And what that means is they're very singular in a color palette. So if you look at like the canoe with a paddle, it has that pink color. the canoe is pink, the paddle has pink, the overall feel of the card. Where if you look at the axe, then the things on that card are green, and the fishing card is blue. So they're just various tints of that color. That's monochromatic, and it has that kind of look, and it represents the color that it is. You know, on the icon. So you kind of give that nice visual, so you can just scan the cards very quickly, and you're like, oh, okay, you know right away what's up there in the draft row.
Yep.
So that kind of goes and speaks to that. But you know, we talked to some different things about how you wanted that to look, and you know, we went with this really cool stitched patch look. So if you look at the player boards, the ranks are patches, just like the uh, achievement patches are. You know, they have that patch sewed look, which is done through Photoshop.
Yeah, that's cool.
Photoshop.
And then did you I think that I saw originally some prototype shots that hadn't done the wide kind of sash badges yet. I think it was maybe like all cards at that point.
They were. So it's kind of interesting. We sent out a truckload of prototypes, and one of the pieces of feedback we got back is, well, the cards work well. They don't feel nearly as thematic as what you might be able to do. So then we kind of started talking about, well, you know, what could we do? How could that be different? Because the first or the prototype player board that we used for quite some time was a horizontal layout and stuff. So I think Eric suggested, why don't we turn it, you know, vertical, and then that kind of started that going. And then I'm like, well, you know, we could make it where you put the sash on there, the color, which, you know, the green sash, and you know, that has like a canvas background, and then we did some stitching, and then that kind of led into the leather bound stitching look for the player board. And then ultimately, yes, you do the punch out. Those will come as, you know, 2 mil punch outs, or you know, almost 2 mils, the thickness of the punch board. But and then you just overlay that over the, yeah, so that's what it looks like, and then you just overlay that onto the player board. So when you get camping, or let's say that's fishing, right?
Yep.
So you just are going to put it right onto the board like that. And now you have the look that you've put that patch on your sash. So it thematically matches what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's cool because you can also very much look at each player and sort of see how close they are to completion, instead of just sort of
see their achievements.
Yeah, instead of seeing a little pile of cards or something. I do think it works really well. And then for folks who might not be able to see it, I'll zoom in on it. It looks like a sash. If you think of like a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout sash that has the patches on it, that's what it looks like, which is really neat. Yeah, I think that the art and sort of the whole theming of the game really knocks it out of the park. So well done on the group effort there, Jason.
Thank you. We're very excited about it.
So this game won a little bit of hardware. I saw in following you on Twitter that you guys went out to Boston, out near us actually, to Fig Fest, which is another sort of crowdfunding, crowd investment platform. And you guys won the best family game. Were you out there, or was it Steven, or how did that work?
It was Steve went, and he submitted it, asked me if it was okay to do so. I'm like, absolutely. So we submitted the game, and it got picked up. Then basically you go, and it gets voted on. So people get tickets, and they can vote. And I'm not quite sure how that all works, but they have a number of different awards. If you go to their website, you can look at what's won in the past. And they give you a nice looking trophy.
Oh, cool.
That comes with it, and he has that. So you take it and you play it with all the people that day, and then they vote on what their favorites are in the different categories. And the best family game is one of the categories, and this one pretty easily, from what I understand. Like it had a lot of votes, and so it was great. I mean, it's been he's had a lot of different versions of it from the first time he just put a prototype out there. It's been to lots of different stuff. He had it at PAX Unplugged last year. He's
Okay.
had it at Unpub this year and the year prior. It's funny because um, we put it out that it would be coming soon, like this summer, and Elizabeth Hargrove caught the tweet,
Oh, okay.
and
Yep.
she answered the tweet and was like, "Oh my gosh, I played this at Unpub. This is such a great game." And it's so funny because that was right as before they won for Spiel.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Because
Yeah, because they won for
she
Wingspan.
designed Wingspan,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it was pretty, like when she answered back, like everybody was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!"
It
it was pretty cool. You're like, "Look who answered our tweet."
Yeah, and it is the industry. I mean, we're not, we don't design board games, right? We just do the software, but we talk to a lot of people who are designers, and it seems like the industry is a lot smaller than you would think it is. A lot of designers see each other at shows, they see each
Mm-hmm.
other at Unpub,
Mm-hmm.
and when they go to whether it be Origins or Dice Tower Con or whatever. Everyone's just like playing games together, so it ends
Oh
up that
yeah,
they all know each other, which is really interesting.
and it is, and it's that way with the publishers too. So if I published a game this year or two games this year, and another company might have published one or two games, and they're on par with each other. You're at you just trade games at a convention,
Yep.
so that you can try out their games and stuff. And some games I buy to look at specific mechanics, or you might pick up a game to see exactly how they packed it, how they did. I mean, as a publisher, those are important things. And then you want to see what that other, another designer may have made, or so it is really interesting. And some designers, they hang out a lot in the unpub rooms at the different conventions. So uh, it's just it is a very unique kind of thing and very accessible. Not like the video game world at all.
Right. Right.
So you want to play games with Scott Holmes, and he's at a convention. You can talk with them, sit with them, play games. I mean, it's always interesting. A few years ago, my son is into board games as well, and uh, we went to Board Game Geek Con. It was maybe 2 or 3 years ago now, and he doesn't know all the designers, right? He just
Sure.
plays a lot of games, and he's sitting at the table. I think he was 19 at the time, 18 or 19, and I wasn't sitting with him. I was doing something else, but I come back over to this area, and he's playing Cottage Garden,
Mm-hmm.
and I look down. He's got Gilmore sitting across from him. Gil Hava was sitting next to
Nice.
him.
Nice.
I mean, and I'm like, I reached down, and there was someone else at the table. It was all prolific, well-known designers, and he's playing with them. And I leaned down in his ear. I'm like, "Do you know who you're playing with?" He's like, "What? No, I'm just playing a game."
Yep.
I'm like, "Okay." So like later after we get done, I'm like, "Yeah, the guy you were sitting across from did Den of Winter and
Right.
a
Right.
bunch
Yeah.
of other stuff," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I
Why
mean,
didn't you tell me that before so I could have brought it up?
yeah, it was pretty funny. So I just like, in what world can you do that? You can't
Right.
do that in any other world. Like, you want to talk with somebody, you just go up to the booth where you just talk to them, just hang out with them. Most of those people are super accessible, and they want to hear your feedback. They want to know, like, you know, Brian is very excited for Winterborn because that's going to
Yep.
hit landfall here, and he's coming to work the booth at BGG, and
Oh, cool.
he's just one of those super down to earth designers that he'll talk to you, want to know what your thoughts are about the play. I mean, like, he looks at like logged plays on
Okay.
BGG
Yeah.
like all the
Yep.
time, so he like reads what people write, and it matters to him. I mean,
Yeah.
all these guys,
That's a
gals,
double-edged sword there. You get some good feedback, I'm sure, but you also get
Mhm.
some.
Not everybody's gonna like your game.
That's right. That's exactly
That's
right.
it's for sure. So I think it just kind of depends on the designer and what that is. Um, but we're excited. I'm always excited to work with different designers and do some different stuff. We had a great time this last year. We were able to look at a lot of different designs. We looked at a tea um, steeping
Okay.
tea. I forget her name. Really nice gal designed this really cool tea steeping game, and we enjoyed it a lot, but it needed some work. I think eventually she got picked up by another publisher, but we had saw it and worked with her to develop the game a little bit, and she was really awesome. So we're trying to just try to find new and interesting places to find designers. I mean, there's lots of established designers, but there's lots of great games that are out there, and giving that designer an opportunity. Like, this is Steven's first game,
Yep.
so being able to help bring that game is awesome. And there's nothing like it as a publisher. That's like one of my favorite things as a publisher,
Yeah, I was
is
just
being
I was
able
just
to.
talking about that with on Tuesday. I had Jason Tagmeyer from Button Shy
Mhm.
on,
Yep,
and
I know him well.
he was saying the exact same thing. You know, he loves the fact that Kickstarter allows him to bring designers that have never had their stuff published,
Hmm.
sort of introduce them to the world, which is neat. I think that the big, heavy, expensive games are cool that they're on Kickstarter, but like I like on the other end of the spectrum, I think a little bit more just people who are kind of building
Hmm.
passion projects, first time in the industry type games. So that's where I enjoy hanging out more, I feel like.
Yeah, and I love Jason Tagmeyer. Man, I talk to him all the time, and I've done some design work for him too. So he's really great. I got to work on some of his games. A lot of fun, and that's really it, man. It comes down to, like, I get to hand that designer their game and
Yeah.
say, "Here it is," and then it's like a kid at Christmas. The eyes light up really big, and they like crack the box, and they're like digging into it. And it's just awesome to just watch and be able and to do that.
Yep.
Uh, and through crowdfunding and help, because if I don't make the crowdfunding goal, I don't make the game. I don't got a mattress full of money. And I'm not like other companies that use it as a pre-order.
Right.
For me, Kickstarter is it. I mean, Talon Strike Studios does not make the game if we don't make the goal that we set
Yeah.
for the game. I mean, it's an uphill battle sometimes. It's a climb, and so different projects fund at different rates, but really, it's just a neat thing to be able to go through that process and that journey with the designer, because games change so much over the course of your design cycle.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I've always thought it would be very neat to have some sort of content, whether it be like a YouTube show or something that
Mm-hmm.
shows that process really well. Because I hang out at a game designers meetup here by me, and I
Mm-hmm.
see, I'll check in with people every month or two and see how their games are progressing.
Yeah.
And it's always like they're trying all sorts of crazy stuff. Oh,
Yep.
hey, we played it last time, and this is how you earned resources. Well, we threw all that out, and we're doing it totally different this time.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think it would be really fascinating to see deep dives into some of the more successful games to see what they've gone through, to get from
Yeah.
A to B.
It is, and you probably would be surprised, and then there's lots of things you'd have been like, oh, I totally would have kept that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that just keeps some other part from not being super smooth or working right.
Yep.
And I mean, like when we signed this, it didn't have this ranking system. It was totally different. You had to go and do a super achievement. It
Oh,
was
okay.
a way different way to end the game, and not that that wasn't cool. It just wasn't as streamlined. It wasn't as accessible, and it had a couple of different, little mechanical nuances and things. And when we changed it to this, and that helped. And then doing things like, as you promote in this game, your hand size goes down. So that really, like, super limits you, especially if you're getting into the diamond uh, badges, because they take 4 cards,
Yep.
and you only get 5 at that point. If you're a raccoon, you can only have 5 cards. So if you're trying to dial in a couple of those. It could be, you really got to keep your cards tight. You'll see that as you play. So things like that happened in the design cycle. That was even a far cry from the game. I mean, things that have been in there, like the drawing from both sides of the deck, and those are cool things that have just been in the game, and the movement, and the 4 easy things, move or draw, and get achievement, or bring a new camper out. So those things have always been there. You just really tighten the bolts on other things and change out stuff, and it's made this game super tight, super fun. It really flows well, and it feels good. But it wasn't poor in the beginning. You're just able to streamline things through development.
Yeah, and just repeated plays, right? I mean, it's crazy how much you can learn just playing a game 3 or 4 times. To make it feel a little bit tighter. So cool. That's a perfect segue for us to actually just sort of dive in. And so to give kind of a brief overview of what we're going to be trying to do here, the name of the game is to get your rank all the way up to Badger. And you can see on our player boards, this is going to be Jason's player board over here on the right. And this one is mine, which is in real meat space on my end here. And so I'll be trying to get from where we are right now, which is Possum rank, all the way up to Badger rank. And the way that we do that is earning achievement badges. And you can see at each rank what type of achievement badges we are going to need. So to progress, I'm going to need 2 greens, or 2 blues, or 2 black diamonds, gray diamonds, black diamonds. And as you go down, you can see you have different paths. So I could do 2 and 2, or I could do 1 and 3, etc. as I go down. These arrows here indicate that I need to have an advanced achievement, which takes essentially doubling up on one achievement. So if I earn the backpacking badge, I need to earn it again, and then it becomes the advanced backpacking badge. And so you need 1 to progress through to, I believe this is a beaver or a woodchuck, I can't remember.
It's a woodchuck.
A woodchuck. All right, cool. And then to raccoon, I'm going to need 2 advanced badges, and then to get to badger, I'm going to need 3 advanced badges. And then the way that you earn badges is essentially to get campers out on the board right here and move them around. And as you're moving them around, you have the opportunity to earn the badges that you're moving over. And we'll show you how that works when we actually get into the playthrough. But on every single turn, each of us is going to have one choice as to what type of action we want to take, and they're all pretty basic. Choice number 1 is you can draw 2 cards from the available cards up here along the top of the play space. You either can take them from one side, the left, or the right, or the center and right or left. So I could do, say, 1 from center and 1 from right, 1 from center, 1 from left, 2 from right, 2 from left, or 2 from center. The thing here is if you get one of these wild cards, which you can see this Swiss Army knife over here, you can only draw 1 of those if it's your face-up card. So it's kind of like, that's a similar rule to Ticket to Ride, exactly. So that's action number 1. I can draw 2 cards. Action number 2 is I can take 1 card and I can move one of my campers around on the board. Action number 3 is I can move a camper to a new location on the board in orthogonal direction and earn an achievement badge. And as I'm moving my camper, let's say I had a camper in the top left corner, and I move that camper to the right here to Orion's Traverse, I would be earning this blue fishing badge because it's the one I'm stepping over as I step into Orion's Traverse. So you need to worry about where your campers are, and because that's going to dictate what badges you're able to earn as you step into new spaces.
Yes.
And then the final action that you can take, the 4th action, is to put a new camper on the board. We each have 4 campers at our disposal, and in order to put new campers on the board, let's say I want to put one here in this blue space. I need to spend 2 cards of this type, this blue tent versus the black or gray tent, and versus the green tent.
Right.
And so those are our 4 actions. You're going to see as we're playing how we're earning badges. And then there's also what I think is kind of a cool mechanic that I don't know how much we'll see it in a 2-player game, but you see it a lot more in higher counts, is you have to essentially pay a tax to other campers if they are already in the square. So if I try to move into a square where Jason already has a camper, I actually need to give him a card. And the same goes for when I place a new camper. And so you have a little bit of an area control situation going on here where you can keep your opponents from doing exactly what they want by placing your campers strategically.
Right, if you don't want them to pay the resources, right?
Yep. And then I think the final thing is these 4 cards over here. These are special first come, first serve achievements that you can earn while you're playing. Each of them is custom. I think it comes with either 16 or 18. Jason, you know off the top of your head how many will be in the box?
It's 12 in the base game if we make the next stretch goal, which is the next one up for us. It'll add 3 more.
Cool.
Of those cards, and then they increase the replay because you put only 4 out per game.
Yep. And each of them are very unique. Just as an example, this mentoring one, you need to have 3 scouts on 3 different black diamond map cards. As soon as that occurs at the end of your turn, you're able to choose one of these badges on the card to automatically earn right then. But the cool part is that it's first come, first serve. So let's say I wanted to earn the hiking badge. I then cover that hiking badge with a cube, and now Jason's not able to get that one.
Correct.
And so I can only earn 1 per card. And then he would have to, if he earned it after me, he could choose one of these 3 to get himself. And so that's it. So then we're just going to take turns trying to rank up all the way to Badger, and the first one who gets to Badger wins. And that's the story. The way that we choose, we each get to choose a starting location, and we each start with 2 cards. I've already given Jason his 2 cards, and I think the last person who went on an adventure gets to go. Is that right? I don't think I haven't gone on any adventures. I did have some carpet installed in my house today, which was kind of an adventure.
I would say that you can go first.
We'll count the carpet install.
There you go.
All right, so I'm going to take a look at my cards. And then I'm going to say I want to start at you. I'm going to start at Banjo Beach. All right, Jason, where would you like to start?
I will start at, let's go, Firefly Shore.
Firefly Shore. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, so for my first action, I'm going to move to Yonder Pond, and I'm going to earn a badge. So if I move up 1, the way that this works is I'm crossing over this backpacking badge right here, and down here in the bottom left corner is what I would need to pay to earn a badge on Yonder Pond. So I would need to pay 2 blue fishing cards, which I have, and I discard those, and then I earn the backpacker.
And
And
so now you're going to place that down, and green is an instant power. So green badges or achievements give you an instant trigger.
And in this case, it's a blind draw of 2 cards. So I immediately get to pull 2 cards from the deck.
Yeah. And because you started with 2, you're not going to be over your hand limit of 8, so you'll be fine. If you were going to go over your hand limit, you would then pick what 8 you wanted and discard your overage.
And then the blue badges, when you start earning them, they give you abilities that you'll have throughout the whole game. And
Correct.
then the black badges or gray badges, are you officially calling them black badges?
Yeah, I think so. They kind of came out gray in this, so in the rule book, I changed it to gray just so people weren't confused.
Yep.
So we'll probably try to make them that if we can. That's something we'll discuss. But those are powers. They're also through the whole game, but they're all the same, so to speak. So you really only have to remember 5 things with this game. Each blue badge has a separate power. And then the diamonds, they do the same thing, but they only count towards their type.
Correct.
So, for instance, the blue diamond, which is the fishing, that power is the ability to use any card as that,
Yep.
but it only becomes a wild for the blue, and the pink is the wild for the pink, and so on. But they're the same power. They're just all different. And then the advanced version is one less to collect.
Yep. Cool. All right, so you're up, Jason.
I am. I'm just going to take 2 cards and stay put.
Okay.
So I will draw the hatchet on the left, yeah, right there. And then I will take a blind from the top, please.
Okay. Okay, and then I'm just scanning these cards in live for Jason, and then I'm just throwing them in a discard pile over in the physical space. And that's how that works. So now he has 4 cards. Agent Dave, welcome back. We are just, good timing. We're just on the second turn here, so you haven't really missed much. Okay, so I'm actually going to immediately step back down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend a wild and a red to get the, I think that's the camp, I think it's called camping.
Camping, yes.
Okay. And then I immediately get to swap any 2 campers on the board. And so I don't know where you're headed, but I'll swap just in case that messes up your plans. And that's my turn. I'm out of cards.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you can move me north 1 to yonder pond.
Okay.
And then I will...
and you can just double click on those and they'll flip over.
Okay. So I will take... I think I went over backpacking there.
Yes, that is correct.
So it's the 2 fishing.
Sweet.
And then I will grab the backpack.
Yeah, Dave, it's always nice talking to a guy like Jason who has a lot of experience just about the whole process of finding designers and tightening up games and all that sort of stuff.
So let me do this. And then I got to, how do I do? Click this and then I...
There's a little trash can. Yep.
Trash can it, right? Okay.
Yep. And you can do a multi-select there if you want to delete multiple at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You can do the drag and drop.
You just grab, yeah, drag and drop. All right, so there we go.
Sweet.
And that's immediately blind, draw 2 cards.
All right.
So just take the 2 cards off the top.
Okay. And then I'm going to... Unfortunately, I can't do anything because I have no cards, so I'm
But you should promote, though.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. I do get to promote.
You do.
So the promotion process is pretty straightforward. You move your disc.
That's it.
And the reason I got to promote is because I have 2 green badges.
Yep.
And so now my card limit is down to 7. I don't really have to worry about that because I don't have any cards. But I am going to draw... Let's see. Wow, that s'more festival is tough down here. Have 2 scouts on a single map card with at least 2 other scouts on it. That's going to be tricky.
Yeah, so in some of that, there is that. But when you get to, I mean, some of these will be a little tough.
Yep.
In a 2-player, just because the amount of dudes on the board or dudettes on the board isn't as much. But in a 3, 4, or 5-player game, even though the map is bigger, it's still like you're gonna feel that.
Yep.
But even so, in a 2-player game, once you get 8 campers out, it's a lot. If people do that, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay. Now we immediately refill the hole, right? So I can draw 1 and it fills, and then I draw again.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
That's how we'll play it. I'm fairly certain.
I'm fairly certain as well that I read that. So, all right, your turn.
All right, I am gonna move north to Constellation Creek and draw 1 card. I will take the hiking stick.
The hiking stick. You got it.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to I'm going to put a new camper in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do 2 blue tents.
Yes.
And then I get to put a camper on any of the blue tent pieces.
Correct.
And I am going to put them here. And this is where a little bit that area control comes in, because if Jason was going to go north, now I've kind of blocked him out.
Right, unless I want to pay the resource to get there. You got it. Very much so. All right, so I'm going to stay put, and I'm going to take the wild.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like the wild for 2, Alex.
Yep, and that since that is a wild, the rule is and it's face up. That's the only card Jason can get.
Roger.
Okay. All right, so I am back down to 0 cards again. And so I am going to draw, and let me think about what I'm going to draw here. I'm going to draw this. And this. And I like, Jason, that you guys made it so you can flip the cards in any direction. It is a pet peeve of mine if they don't work when they're upside down.
Omnidirectional cards.
Yes.
You got it. Also, too, there's always the person that gets stuck on the other side of the game, on the table.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly right.
So, right, as a graphic designer, I always want to make that as easy for players as I can.
Yep.
All right, so you can move me to the Nimbus range.
You got it.
And I am going to collect the walking stick. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and for the sticks, and then a wild for the fishing rod, and then that gives me the.
And that gives you that black diamond, which is a nice walking stick wild.
It is.
All right.
We'll get rid of these. I can tell you, this is pretty smooth software.
Thanks.
I dig it.
I didn't pay him to say that, folks.
Oh, it's cool.
All right, so I am gonna draw 2.
Is it still a beta thing, or you can buy it?
It's still a beta thing currently. We're gonna be back on Kickstarter, hopefully January timeframe of 2020.
Oh, cool.
So we ran a Kickstarter and we missed it. We got 90%, and failed.
Tough.
Yeah, it was it was a tough week that week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the stress of that. I'll tell you that.
All right, you're up.
I am. So I am going to, let's see. Oh, crikey. I will take from the left. I'll take a canoe.
All right.
And the top card.
Do you want to see this first? There you go.
Sure. Still take the top card.
All right. I shouldn't have told you. I should have given you the one you didn't want.
Top card.
Yeah, Dave, that target isn't necessarily in stone quite yet. We're still talking, but our goal is to get back out there as early as possible in 2020. All right, so I am going to actually move over to Orion's Traverse, and I am gonna get a badge, and there's my cards, and I get the canoeing black diamond.
Nice.
All right, and I believe that's my turn. You're up.
All right. Man, we gotta get back down to the bottom. All the greens are in the bottom.
Dave, that was our concern. We definitely do want to, for the folks who are really interested in what we're doing, we really don't want to wait too long.
Well, let's see. I will draw 2.
Okay.
So hit me with the right side. I will take both, the canoe and the hatchet.
You got it.
Canoe and the hatchet. 31. Sure. Now the fishing rods come out.
Well, you could have waited. You could have waited if you wanted.
That's all right.
You're living dangerously.
That's right. Got to make use of what you got.
Yeah, that's the Camp Pinetop way. All right,
It is.
I am going to draw 2 as well. And now I have a wild for red. Okay.
That's very nice.
So I'm going to draw this blue. And then I'm going to draw another blue. All right, you're up.
All right. Okay. So go ahead and move me down to Firefly Shore.
Ooh, pay up.
Boom. I will. So I am going to give you this card. So you can.
A hatchet. All right.
You need a hatchet from the discard. And it's going to cost me 1, 2, 3 canoes. And I get resourcefulness.
Yep.
A little tough to read, but you may select from both sides of the supply card offer when you draw.
Nice.
So that is a very cool power.
Yep.
And we got to get these out of here. Bang, bang, bang. And then you got your one card,
yep,
correct,
sir?
I
got it.
All right.
Sweet. All right, so... Interesting. I am going to draw 2 again. And I'm going to get this hatchet. I'm going to take both of these hatchets. And that's my turn.
All right. So I will take 2, and I can draw from either side.
Ooh.
So I will take the fish and the paddle. I will take the fishing rod and the paddle.
Flexing your new
That's
resourcefulness muscles.
Got to use them powers.
Yeah, that is probably the only thing that you just, and I think you hit the nail on the head early. The only thing you really gotta remember is what the blue ones do. You just gotta learn what they do, and then you're good to go.
Yep, very much so. And the first design of the game, there was all these different powers, and yeah, I mean it was a bit much to juggle. So as we kind of streamlined stuff, then we decided, the green should be one and done, so you can earn the power, forget about it. If we change the diamond to they were very powerful, so they're a little less powerful, but still more powerful than the others because they're more expensive.
Yep.
And then all you do is just remember the blues when you got them.
Yeah.
And that was a good breakthrough in the development cycle of the game.
All right, so I'm gonna move west to Stag Mountain, and I'm gonna buy. I think that's orienteering.
It is. You're killing me.
Let's see. Oh, is that where you were headed?
It's very nice.
All right, so from now on, I can choose either the badge that I crossed over or the badge that I moved into. So
correct.
I now have a choice. All right, you're up.
Right, and being ahead of me now, I got to make that moral dilemma. Do I give you a free card to go and get the same achievement, or do I want to just draw cards and go after a separate achievement? Yep. So, wow. I think that I will take, let's see. Oh, I'll take the wild from the right.
Okay. Dave, I don't know where Mike is tonight. He and I were working on some stuff earlier today, but obviously he had something going on this evening. All right. So, I had a question for you, Jason, because this one came up while I was playing with my wife. If you draw the wild the way you just did, that counts as a 2-card play, right? You can't do a draw the wild and move a camper.
Correct. So you either take the wild as your draw, or you move and draw a non-wild.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay. And you'd have to draw that or you could draw off the main deck and maybe you get a wild.
Correct. Yeah. Like you could draw 2 off the top and one could be a wild, and you could get lucky that way. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
You would get lucky.
All right. So, I'm gonna draw the wild as well.
All right.
You're up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I am going to take the. Let's see. I haven't moved up yet, so I'm still at 8 cards. All right. I will take the walking stick and the paddle from the left side, please.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to move south into Fairy Fire Caves, and I am going to spend the expense here. But my question for you is, if let's say I wanted to get this blue, because I have orienteering, right? So I could get this, but that means I would have to spend this cost. Is that correct?
No, you just came from that. So it's going to be the one you cross over or the one across from that.
Oh, across.
So what's,
yes. Okay, got
what's
it.
the southernmost is the
recruiting.
Is recruiting.
Yep.
So you can get backpacking or recruiting with your new power.
Okay, so I am going to get recruiting. For sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I'm going to get recruiting for that. And now I have recruiter. And
what's that power?
I get to immediately place a new or existing camper on any map card.
You got it.
And I am going to definitely place a new camper. And I'm going to... I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to place him right there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want you to head over there. And then that ranks me up as well, I believe, because I have 3 greens. And oh, no, I don't have a advanced yet, so I can't rank up.
You're going to have to get that, yeah. So I am going to move down 1 to Rainbow Ridge.
Okay.
I think. Am I going to do that? Maybe not. What is that, backpacking?
Yeah, backpacking, yep.
That does me no good. I'm actually going to go to Yonder Pond.
Yonder
Pond?
Pond?
I cross camping there.
You do.
All right. And that's going to be 1 and 2.
Okay.
And that gives me camping. I gotta find it here. Boom.
Very cool.
And that is immediately swap any 2 campers on the board. So what I would like to do with that is to change Fire Fairy Caves with Yonder Pond, please.
Okay. I was just hopeful you were going to swap 2 of my campers, but that wasn't in the cards.
No. Negativo.
All right, cool. And then you are ranked up.
Yes, I moved to Skunk.
Very cool. All right. So I'm going to draw, and are you allowed to use the wild card that I have for red? Does that mean I can use that multiple times in a given play? So I could play two hatchets and that equals 2 reds, or can I only do it with 1 of those reds? Does that make sense?
I'm not sure I understand the
question.
So
let's say I needed to move down here, right? And I needed 2 reds. Can I only do the wild trick for 1 of those 2, or can I do it for both?
If you have 2 wild cards, you can use 2 wild cards.
Well, no. I'm saying for my canoeing black badge skill.
Right. Any other card counts as a canoe.
Okay, so it's not that I can only do it once. I could do it multiple times in that same play.
Correct. So you could spend any 2 cards.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't limited to like one per spend. Okay.
Not that I recall.
All right. So I'm going to draw from the top twice. And that's my turn.
All right. All right. So I am going to go over to Rainbow Ridge, and I have 1 walking stick, and I have the walking stick power, so I can use any other card as a walking stick. So I'm going to use that hatchet.
All right.
That will net me cartography.
Yes.
And that goes there. And cartographer is immediately swap any 2 edge map cards. Campers have to stay.
Okay.
So I would like you to put uh, Rainbow Ridge,
Yep.
I think, and transport that up to Orion's Traverse and move
switch
Orion's
those.
Traverse
Okay.
down.
The Earth is moving around.
That's it. Bam.
Okay. All right. So it's my turn. And I am going to step into Firefly Shore, crossing over. I think that's hiking. And I'm just going to play 3 because I have the Ore Wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get hiking. Trailblazing is actually the official name. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I can move up to 2 map cards when moving, and I do not pay supply cards to rivals.
If you move through them.
Yep.
Correct.
So I can kind of jump.
So like
over
you
people.
could if you were in Phantom River, you could move through Rainbow Ridge to Penelope's Landing, and as long as there's nobody at Penelope's Landing, you don't pay the resource to move through my area.
Yep.
But if I was at your destination tile, you still have to pay.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
All right, so then I have the skill diversity, and I think we actually both have the skill diversity, but we haven't claimed it yet. Have at least one of each type of skill badge. So I am going to.
Yeah. So take it.
I am going to claim. I'm going to claim this blue.
Okay.
And that is leadership. And that, when I place a new camper, I may place them on any map card. Okay, and then that gets me still not a rank up, but that's okay.
No, and then so you still get to. Didn't you did your turn already, or you take your turn?
No, I did my turn. I'm all good.
So it's now my go. So I will take that now as well. So you can give me. Let's go with backpacking, and I'm gonna promote that.
Okay, so you got the advanced backpacking now.
Correct. Bam. And this allows me immediately to draw 3 face-up cards from the supply offer or blindly. So I will take the fishing rod.
Okay.
And then 2 blind draws, please.
All right. Yeah, I got to remember those advanced greens are really nice. The powers that they give you are strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're only one shot, but they're really good.
Right. So that is, and I haven't taken my turn yet. That was just getting that power.
Yep.
So let's see. I will. What do I need? I gotta promote. Does that promote me? It may promote me. Before I even go, three greens and 1 black diamond and a promoted.
You got it.
And I got that. So I will move to woodchuck. And then I will take my turn. And that's going to be 3, 3, and 1. Outstanding. So I will move to Penelope's Landing, please.
Okay.
That's 1 over. And that is a canoe, and a fishing rod.
And you're streaking to the lead now, Jason.
That's it. And then that gives me
Trailblazing.
Where is that? There we go. Let's pop that bad boy down. Outstanding.
Cool. All right, so it's my turn, and now I need to. I actually need to draw again. So I'm going to blind draw. And I'm done.
All right. So move me to Rainbow Ridge, please, and I will take one card. I will take the fishing rod, please.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move. So I'm going to move to the right here to Banjo Beach, and I am going to... Hold on. I'm going to play these 2 ores to get a badge. And I am going to upgrade my backpacker.
Awesome.
And that allows me to get 3 face-up cards from the supply. And I'm going to pick up... Now, when it says offer ore blindly, I can mix and match, kind of whatever combo.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And if you'd have the power to draw from both sides, you can. Otherwise, you still got to stay to one side.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And then I believe that gets me... That gets me a rank up. And I am done.
Okay. All right. I will go to the Nimbus range.
Okay.
That's down 1. And then that is a fishing rod. Boom. And then I have the walking stick power, so I can use any other card as. So there's 1 card for that. And then a wild and a wild.
Oh, man.
And that gives me the canoeing power.
Yeah, to win, you really do need a bunch of the black diamonds, don't you?
Yeah, you need to have some. So either if you want to get all the way in, if you need to have all 4 for 2 of the rows, or just 3 for 1 of the rows. And we've talked about like I only have 1 camper out.
Right.
So there is no requirement to have more than 1 camper.
Right.
But we've talked about
having
implementing that where
Yeah.
you need to have at least 2 or 3 campers out. So you might see that in the final version of the game.
Cool.
Where we make it where you have to have another camper. So
Okay.
you might need 2 campers to get to Woodchuck, and then 3 campers to get to Badger. Or something.
Yeah, I like that you can kind of go either way, right? So right now you can kind of try to play it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And both I think are viable. All right, so I'm going to step 1 north, and then I am going to play... Oh, never mind. I cannot do that. Sorry.
I got to get a second advancement.
I am going to...
But it would be 2, 2, and 3.
I'm going to take 2 steps, because I can walk 2. And I'm going to land over in the Fairy Fire Caves. And I'm crossing over camping. And I will spend a wild and a walking stick.
Mm-hmm.
And upgrade my camping.
That's pretty good power.
And then I can immediately bring any 2 campers to your map card. Targeted players must pay sharing cost if able. So do I have to do 2 or could I do 1?
I'm sorry, say that again?
It says immediately bring any 2 campers to your map card. Do I have to do 2 or could I get away with just doing 1?
Immediately bring 2.
All right, so I'm forced to do 2.
Yes.
All right, so I'll bring you, so you have to pay me.
Right.
And I'll bring this guy as well.
Except for I don't have any cards. So.
Oh. All right.
Bam.
So that...
I think we just crossed a stretch goal.
Oh, did you?
I think we did.
Hell yeah.
So that's a good deal.
Everybody cheer.
Wow.
The stretch
Thanks,
goal.
folks.
That's great. Yeah, hopefully these next 12 hours, you can push it pretty far. We'll see.
We are excited to do that. I got 1 more stretch goal. I don't know if we'll even make that past the 18,000, but it would be, I think, it's going to be silk screening if we got.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
On the tokens.
Yeah, on the tokens. Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Yeah, 17,559. I think we're at. Yeah.
Killer.
Or 8-9.
So I just ranked up again.
Nice.
Because I'm 3, 3, and 1 with 2 advanced. Yes. Okay.
So you're at Raccoon.
And then
you gotta. Do you have 2 advanced? You have to have 2 advanced.
Yeah, I have backpacker and camping.
Oh.
I just
I'm
upgraded.
Slack daddy over here.
Yeah, well, I'm in trouble now though because I need to get a whole bunch of the black ones. So that's fine.
Crikey! All right. So it's my go.
It is.
All right.
I'm actually gonna, for folks at home, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on your stuff in my view so that we can see that a little bit closer. There we go. Cool.
Okay. All right. I need to draw. So I will take the walking stick.
Okay.
And you can flip one out. I'll wait.
So we're getting down to brass tacks where we need to pay attention.
Right, I'll take that next walking stick. Yeah, you're down to 5 cards too. So
yeah.
I still get one more than you.
All right, so I am going to step 1 and draw a card. And I'm going to draw one from here. And it's your turn.
Okay. Let's see. I will take from the right the hatchet and the walking stick, please.
Okay. Yeah, I think the thing I like about this game is just the spatial reasoning along with the planning, right? Because you have to make sure your campers are in the right kind of position that you can actually earn the stuff you're looking for.
Right, and you're going to have to move them. I mean, it helps if you have multiples, if you're going that route, but yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do an interesting trick here, I think. I'm going to play these 2 greens to bring in another camper. But because I have leadership, I can place the camper on any map card that I choose. And I'm going to place this camper all the way up here in the corner. Which means that I now have 3 campers on 3 different blue map cards.
There you go.
And I can claim something in guiding here. And I am going to claim the blue, which is resourcefulness.
I'll let you draw from both sides.
Yep. And now I have 4 blues, so I'm close.
4 blues there.
Yep. All right, you're up.
4 blues. You're gonna need what?
2
more.
Yeah, 3 greens and then 3 blacks. So I need to get 2 blacks.
Need 2 blacks and 1 more promoted.
Yep. That's a lot of cards to draw still.
It can be. Let's see. So I will go to Orion's Traverse.
Okay. I'm waiting for another camper to come out to you here, Jason.
Nah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that earns me fishing.
Fishing.
We want to get that. Boom.
I zoomed in a little bit, so if you could keep your cards above this zone, that would be helpful for the viewers.
Over here?
Yeah, perfect. Just right above your player board, then the viewers could see them.
Roger. And to do this, I had the 3 sticks, but because I already had The canoe, any card can be a canoe.
Yep.
So.
All right. So see, this is how I played. The times that I've won, I did more what you're doing, which is get the blacks out of the way early, and then you can have that wild ability that you can use all over the place. But I did not follow that plan this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean it can be very powerful in that respect, but then you're giving up the free badges. So like for free, you're one badge ahead of me.
Right.
And
Right.
that matters.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
So
So
right.
so I want to do a move and draw one card. And that allows me now to move 2 spaces because I have Trailblazing.
Okay.
So I am going to move this guy to the Phantom River, and I'm going to draw 1 card, and it is going to be wild. Or off the top of the deck. All right, you're up.
All right. What have I got to get? I got to get some cards. Let's see what I need. I think I already promoted camping. I promoted backpacking. All right. So let's see. I will take the hatchet.
Which one?
Oh, good question. I'll take the hatchet and the paddle.
Hatchet and the paddle, you got it. So have you played this with a 5-player limit?
I have.
How is it? I bet it gets a little bit tight.
Well, you're going to add another row of cards.
Right. You got the bigger board at least.
So you got a bigger playing area. And we've discussed maybe with a 5-player even add more. There's 32 map. Well, now there's 3 more. So we just added 3 more map cards. So there's 35 map cards in the game now. So,
okay.
I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's fun. You know, the cool thing when you have all that going on, the badges are a lot of fun. The mastery, and moving tiles on people and moving campers, it's actually really cool.
Yeah, that adds another level of depth because also so much is going to happen before it gets back to you.
Correct.
You know,
so it is very interesting, and the mastery is a little more rewarding, I think, at that level. Just based on some of the mastery powers that are out there.
Yep.
And it is very cool to be able to move campers and to move tiles and some of those neat things. Also, too, the more player interaction with the cards. So I'm landing on tiles, especially when everybody gets like 2, 3, or 4 campers out. Now you're paying people a lot.
Yep.
Now trailblazing is super important, and you got to remember, like, we're not playing with the expansions here, but like the nature is really cool because that slows you down some, and the animal moves, and that, like, there's a bear, and if the bear's in that tile, you can't go there.
Right.
So it certainly is kind of cool that way. And then the observation tower, wherever the observation tower is, when you move towards the observation tower, you gain cards and you can double move. And so there's some neat stuff. And it's like, what a steal. Like, the observation tower is $3.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like a $3 expansion. I mean, you go on Kickstarter, you look at other games, they want like $8, $10, $12 for an add-on expansion. Well, that's not how Talon Strikes run stuff. So it's just $3. Boom. And you're going to get the cards that come with it in the observation tower. And same with the thing. So for $28, you get the base game. You're going to get the nature expansion, which comes with, I think it's 6 different animals off the top of my head. And you're going to get new cards. And then the observation tower has double supply cards. So you would get like a card that's a double axe or a double fishing pole. And they're cool to add in.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of them, but It
But
just
when it hits, and it creates just a little bit more variation each play, which is cool.
correct, and they're neat. Like you get the spatial relationship
Yep.
out of both of the expansions and the cards, and it, for $8, which is what it
Right.
comes out to be,
Yep.
is just. I mean, like we're offering it like there's, just what it's may cost us to print, but
Right.
I
Right.
want people to have that experience. Like, I want people to get a good value on Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we hope to get it to retail, but
Yeah.
that's the bonus of backing us on Kickstarter. You're going to get it for a way lesser cost.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's, for me at least, that's the cool part of Kickstarter is being able to get these games before they ever make it to retail.
yeah.
And
Very
some of them don't ever make it, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. Okay, so I'm gonna move this guy 2 spaces because I can move, and then I'm going to drag 1 card again. All right, you're up.
All right. So let's see. Yeah. I am gonna go 1 over 2 fairy fire caves.
Yep.
And I have both the fishing rod and the walking stick, so I can use any cards I want.
And then do you not have to pay me? You're allowed to buy before you pay.
Crikey! No, I didn't see you there. Move me back. Dang it! I'm drawing 2.
All right.
So I will draw the fishing poles from the left side.
You got it.
Well, shucky darn.
Yeah, I had you pinned in down there.
You do. That's brutal. Slows me down a turn. That matters.
Yeah, I don't know about my next strategy here. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm just going to do it because I don't care. I'm going to try it.
Caution to the wind.
That's right. My campers are out of control. They're running all over the campground. All right, so then I'm going to move the guy here 2 and draw a card.
All right.
And I am now on 3 different black diamond locations.
So you're gonna pull a new achievement off mastery.
And I'm gonna get I'm gonna upgrade the. What does recruiter get me? Immediately draw cards equal to the number of campers you have out, which is definitely what I'm going to do. Now, do I have to not discard? Oy. I don't want that.
What do you mean?
Well, because I have 3 cards in my hand already, so if I drew 4 more cards, I'd have to discard down to 5.
Well, so you would draw them all,
Yep.
and then keep what you want.
Yep.
Keep the 5 you want. So it gives you the option of seeing what you want and then discarding down to the 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take.
So you're ultimately able to kind of hone your deck or your hand to what you want.
So I'm going to take
which
that.
is nice.
Yeah, I think it is nice. So I'm going to take that recruiter, which upgrades my recruiter, and then I'm going to draw 4 cards, and I can draw them from everywhere. And let's see what I want. I'm going to draw these 2. Let these fill in. And then I'm going to draw blind. Ay, ay, ay. This is a mess. And then I'm going to draw blind again. All right, so I drew my 4, and I have to knock it down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got to get rid of 2. And I'm going to get rid of 2 ores because I already have wilds. All right, you're up, Jason.
All right, so you can move me back to Fairy Fire Caves.
Okay.
And you get a fishing card.
Okay.
Fishing rod, so take one of those.
Got it.
And then I will take camping, and I already have it, so I am going to do the advanced version.
Cool.
Of camping, and that.
Does that move you up?
Immediately bring any 2 campers to your map card.
Ugh.
Targeted players must pay. So I can bring your other 2 guys, boom,
Okay,
all down there.
which ones do you want? Because I actually have 3. There's a red guy over here too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see him now. So bring Nimbus Range and Phantom River down to me. You only have to pay me 1 card. You don't pay me for both.
Okay, I will give you a hatchet.
There we go. And I gotta discard these guys. Bang. Bang. All right. And that advances me to Raccoon, I believe.
I think so.
That's at least 2 diamonds, at least 2 blues, and at least 3 greens and 2 advanced, and I'm meeting that.
But you kind of played right into my hands a little bit here, Jason, because that gives me the S'more Festival.
Yes.
So I get 2 scouts on a single map card with at least 2 other scouts on it. And I will claim this yellow walking stick black. All right. So there we go. All right, so your turn was over, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my turn now. I'm going to try to earn something here. Do something, will you?
Yeah, I think you're 1, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 and 3. So you're 1 diamond.
Black diamond.
Yep. And then you need another advance. No, you got 3 advance.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna end it.
You gotta get that this round.
I think I'm gonna end it. Yeah, because I can move from this Constellation Creek right to the Nimbus Range, where I have 1 fishing and I have a wild for the walking stick.
All right.
And I am allowed to choose which of these 2 I want, and I want the green hatchet, which is the opposite of the way that I walked in. So I'm going to get Forestry.
That's it.
Which gives me 3 black, 4 blue, 3 green, and 3 achievements. So we are up to Badger.
And that's it.
Sweet. So you did.
So I was getting close. So I helped you by pushing all your guys.
Yeah, it actually turned out that's kind of funny because you think that would be bad for me, but it turned out that was convenient. So yeah, that's cool. So that's it. That's it. I got the W. But you know, I think that when people come on here with me, they try not to win because they don't want to. They don't want to win.
Oh, that's not true. I wanted to crush you.
Good. That's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping.
That's it. No, you know what? I didn't even think about that when I moved you there. I was just trying to bring you all down. So you'd have to disperse again and waste some turns. But
yeah, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, is there any way that I can do this s'mores thing?
That didn't really play to my favor. But
yeah.
So just to kind of real quick, the nature, you have a little deck that you flip every turn.
Okay.
Or every round after everybody gets a turn. Then you flip a card. It's going to move the animals in random directions. So you're going to play with the bear and you pick one other animal. There's other animals to choose from. I can just briefly, you have the bear and you can play with the otter, the elk, the beaver, the eagle, or the trout.
Okay.
And they help you do different things. So for instance, the bear blocks movement into that map tile.
Okay. Any
player on that map tile with the bear must move out on their next turn. So if we flipped the card and the bear moved onto the tile you were on,
it forces you next turn to move.
You have to leave that tile, even if you don't want to.
That's cool. So it adds a little bit of chaos to the map.
You got it. Yeah. And then nobody can go to that while the bear is there.
Cool.
So there's the 12 tracking cards that come with that, and then that pushes the bear, and then it's going to push one of the other animals. So, and you don't play with all of them. You just pick one, either randomly or whichever. The eagle, players may move one additional map tile if entering or starting where the eagle is. So if the eagle is on your tile, you can now move 2. So it's kind of like Trailblazer without having Trailblazer.
Cool.
And then on the outside of the tiles around the board itself, you can have the sun or the rain or snow, and then they move columns and rows.
Okay.
And then if you happen to be in their column or row, then they do something for you. And that's how the nature affects what that is. It's very straightforward, very simple,
Cool. So
and
then,
like,
and then each of those are $3. So like you would get both of those plus the game for what, like 26, I think.
well, the nature has 6 animal cards, 3 weather cards, 12 tracking cards, and 9 tokens.
Okay.
So that's a $5 expansion.
Got it.
Just because it has a punch board and some more stuff in it,
Yep. Yep.
it's a little more costly. But the observation tower is you get the tower itself, and then you get 8 double supply cards,
Cool.
and that's $3. And we're trying to get the observation tower to be a cardboard construct.
Okay. Cool.
So you would put it together, and it actually will have a physical presence
Nice.
on the table. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So you just randomly place that, and then it helps you if you're in the row
Okay.
moving towards it, row or column.
Cool.
So like if you wanted your best pass, you put it like in the center of the board, and then if you're in the row or column with it, it helps you. And that's just a $3 expansion, so it's very cool to do. So we're just trying to figure out cost effectiveness of doing a cardboard construct,
Yep.
or a little wooden meeple tower.
Cool.
And what works best.
Very cool.
So, and we did break the 7550, and the next one is 18350, and it's the upgrade to the discs.
Yep.
But they just asked in chat if we could get the silk screen as well.
So switch.
Like a double stretch goal.
Double stretch goal. Okay.
So I think I'll take a look if I can do that. I think I can do that, and
Very
then maybe if we make it to the 18350, which isn't that much further, then we'll do a silk screen on the
Very cool.
custom scouts and the discs.
Yeah, I think that'd look really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
why
cool.
not?
Awesome. So that's Camp Pinetop. But what I wanted to give you a chance, if you're interested, to throw out there what you guys are doing next. What's the big next Talon Strikes?
So a game called Public Market. It's art done by Beth Sobel.
Oh,
so
cool.
If you're familiar with her work, she's awesome pants. I love working with her.
Did she do Herbaceous maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I think something.
And Calico, which is up right now.
Yep.
She did some of the Birds and Wingspan.
Very cool.
She's done a ton of stuff, and she's amazing. We're so blessed to be able to work with her.
Yeah, that's really neat.
On Public Market. So basically, that is a tile laying game, of Tetris type tiles that you fit into a board.
Okay.
There's some games out there like that. So the difference with Public Market is, in most of those games, you're like, take Isle of Cats, which was on Kickstarter a little bit ago. Or if you look at some of the other games that are out there, Carpe Diem, where you're putting tiles onto a board. It's over the course of the entire game. Patchwork is the same thing, right? So not in Public Market. Public Market, it's very forgiving. You have the awesomeness of, you're going to fill up your cooler with fish, and then you're going to go to market and sell.
Got it.
And you're going to dump your cooler and sell everything, and then you get a fresh board to restock with fish. So you go out and fish, and you're putting fish tiles down, fitting them all in. You got to go around ice cubes, and you got to cover crabs, and you got to go around lobsters, and so there's other stuff in your cooler, and it's really, really neat. So the guys that Flat Out Games, they're producing Calico.
Yep.
They also did Point Salad, which is a card game that AEG published. So they designed Public Market. They're super cool to work with, a lot of fun. And Beth Sobel is doing the art. And that'll be in January of 2020. So in just a few months, that will come up. And it's going to be a really wonderful tight playing game.
Yeah, I like that too about the tile layers, because I looked really really hard at Isle of Cats,
Mm-hmm.
and I just knew myself. I know what kind of player I am, and I think that game would make me crazy if I laid something wrong,
Yes.
and then I get to look at it the entire game,
Right.
and kick myself about it. You know.
Right. So in this in public market, that's one of the things. Like if you don't like your board at any time, you can go to
Sell it.
market, sell it off, collect powers and different stuff, and then you get a fresh new board. You also do public contracts. So let's say there's public contract cards out there, and they say we want 2 herring and 1 cod, and you're going to get 2 points. And then we have a little bit of an engine builder mixed in with it, where you get an engine builder point, and you can spend those engine points on fish.
Oh,
So
okay.
I can get a permanent sardine, or I can get a permanent herring,
Got it.
and
Yep.
I don't get a tile, so I don't have to gum up my board with it.
Got it.
So it's neat, and the money pays out based on columns and rows, and there's a bunch of neat little nuanced things,
Very
but
cool.
it is very cool. And then you bid for turn order every turn.
Oh,
so
okay.
You're spending your money to where you're going to fish. So, and it's just like it's very thematic, like an ocean. So you have your fish tiles. So like in a 4-player game, they'd be 5 deep and 4 rows. So you're going to have 5 rows and then 4 columns.
Yep.
Almost kind of like how the map tiles look here.
Yep.
Just replace those with fish tiles, and then the boat sits above that, like on the surface of the water.
Oh, cool. Okay, I got
and
you.
you
Yeah.
can move the boat across, and you can only fish underneath the boat.
Okay, got it.
So the person that goes last sets the boat where we're fishing, and then you bid for turn order of how you want to get that tile.
Okay, cool.
So it's very cool. Like, and you spend your cash to fish first or fish last,
right?
Or whatever you want.
Nice.
It,
okay.
it is very, very clever. It
Yeah.
has some neat things.
Yeah, I think I like that thematic kind of layout of the board idea that you're looking kind of as the boat, kind of a cross section of the ocean.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can fish downward for the fish.
Very
So
cool. Oh yeah,
that's nice.
Agent Dave in chat just backed your campaign, Jason.
Oh, thank you.
Dave is a super backer. He said that is campaign number 225 for him.
Wow.
So yeah.
Kudos to you, brother man. I'm
Yeah.
over 100, but I'm not at a 200.
Yeah, that's we always laugh because Dave is the bravest amongst us.
That's good stuff, man. He brings a lot of people happiness. That's
Yep.
bringing a lot of things alive. I backed 128 now.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 50s or 60s. I don't think I'm as high as that. But Dave says only 144 have been successful of the ones he's backed. So that's the other bad part about Kickstarter.
It can be.
But,
so.
you just have to... Yeah, that's right, Dave. This will make 145. That's right. Cool. So how'd you think... I always ask at the end of these sessions, Jason, what'd you think about playing your game in Vorpal board here?
I think it's very easy. It's neat that you scan in the cards. I don't think there's a game that you couldn't play. You got the dice in there. You got the different things. I think it's very cool once you kind of get all the components scanned in and you're good to go. I think that's neat too, because on one side of it, you're playing with the physical stuff, and we could bring in more players remotely. I certainly like that. It's a very easy software to use once you kind of get used to it. I'll tell you what, it's something that after today, over the weekend, I'm going to hit you up. We're going to talk about what it would be, so I can try this out for development.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I think that designers and publishers both are kind of a target market for us, because you just set you set your cell phone up and you can throw out whatever you want and just start playing.
Right. And
you don't have to build the assets in any tool. You don't have to do anything. You can just sort of mess around.
Right. Tabletopia, you have to make everything. In this, you don't have to.
Right.
So you're just good to go.
Yeah.
And that's very important from that standpoint. So I can definitely see this. Also, too, it's easier in Tabletopia. You're in a 3D environment, so you're moving all around. Sometimes you're grabbing stuff you don't mean to grab. So it can be it can be a little painful sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
With the user interface.
Yeah, a little bit of a learning curve, both in there and in Tabletop Simulator.
But this is neat.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
So
It's definitely made a big difference in our lives. We built it really as kind of a passion project at first, just so we could play with our friends. And then we said, oh, well, maybe other people will want this thing. Once we got far enough along with it. So
I think so. And it's not as daunting, right? So, and your game library is what your game library is.
Yeah. Yep.
So like, I don't have to buy digital versions of games or anything like that. I already own the game, so I have the right to play, to do this.
Yep.
It's very neat. Are you planning on having like chat windows and
in terms of like text chat? Yeah, we'll probably add text chat in. Right now we're relying just on the video and the audio. But if people do want to just do text instead, there's no reason why we couldn't support it. But we don't have it in there today.
I think that would be cool. I think it would also be cool to have forums and some kind of thing like that where people can talk about different games they've tried or how they do different layouts, because some games are table hogs and I can see how that may be an issue.
Yep.
But those are workarounds and things that become very important.
Yeah, we're sort of kicking around ideas on how we'll handle sort of like a wiki type thing of, I want to play Gloomhaven. I want to go see kind of the recommended way to play Gloomhaven. From the community is what we want to be able to have, because there are little tips and tricks for every game you play.
Sure. I think that would be great to have forums that where you talk about that, and then of course feedback, development stuff for you guys. And things like that. Also too, then you can talk about people that scan in entire games to play and all the pieces. Is that something that stays or does that go away? When you close the session.
So right now it stays. So it's all saved to the device that scanned it. So we don't do any saving of this stuff up to servers, just because we really don't want to be holding on to anybody's IP on our servers or anything. So it stays with the device that you scanned it on, and then the next time you play. So for example, all this stuff for Camp Pinetop I scanned weeks ago when we were going to play the first time. And then today when I sat down, it was just all here.
Nice.
So I didn't have to scan it again. So yeah, once you scanned a game in, you're pretty much ready to go the next time.
And can it stay in this state? So if I had to quit playing for whatever, you can save a game?
Yep.
That's neat too.
Yeah, so
gives you some options.
Right. Yep. So
Vorpal board,
you got it.
We dig it.
So cool.
I don't where does Vorpal come from?
It's from the poem The Jabberwocky.
Oh, okay.
It's because that's like the it's like a nonsense poem. Like all the words in it are nonsense, and in one part it says he drew his Vorpal blade.
Vorpal blade.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have always thought that the word Vorpal was cool, and
it is.
I didn't have a reason to ever use it for anything. And then
now you do.
When we started working on this project, that was just the code name I gave it. I was like, I'll come up with a name for it later or whatever. And then we never changed it. Yeah. So it's
very cool.
Yeah, kind of like the Xbox
I like it
that way. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for coming on, especially at the very end of your campaign. I'm sure you're exhausted.
It's been a trek, but we're hoping to maybe we'll hit that last goal. That'd be awesome.
I hope so. So yeah, thanks for coming. We'll definitely keep an eye out in January. For the next one, and good luck with finishing up with the Winterborn fulfillment, and then getting going on Camp Pinetop.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, James.
All right, take care, Jason.
All right, bye-bye.